He's doing his podcast.
Hello. Wait, hold on. What? Okay, there you go. How's it going, guys? We're back with another episode of the Successfully Failing Podcast. X is in the building. Say hi, X.
What's happening?
Say hi, Chris. Nick is working. Free Nick. Alright, so today we're going to talk about Justice League. If you guys haven't checked out my spoiler-free talk on the Justice League, you can go to Successfully Failing TV on the YouTubes. Check it out. Posted it there. So yeah.
We're going to spoiler territory, right?
Yeah.
Hell yes, I'm spoilers.
Alright, so before we get into anything crazy, what did you think about the film? Like, just generally speaking.
Generally speaking, I thought it was meh. Well, of course, because of all the, politics behind it, I was just like, meh. I mean, it's just good to see the interactions with all these characters.
Yeah.
And Superman is fixed. Big time. And so I was happy to see that. But obviously there was a whole lot more. But, because of politics and whatnot, we may never see it. But it's whatever. I took it for what it is.
Okay.
I'm not going to be too harsh on it.
Yeah, like I spoke about this in the other episode, but I liked it. My issue with, I brought this up a bunch of times. My issue was really the cut time from it. Like, I feel like it didn't ruin the movie, but I just think, I mean, this is just an assumption because I don't know what was taken out or whatever. I just feel like that bit that was cut could have made the movie a lot better than it was. Because the thing is, this is the first time we're seeing all these superheroes together. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care what they didn't do, what they did do in the movies prior. But regardless of what, even if they did have set up better, they led into this better, like the way Marvel did it, as far as introducing the characters and giving them their own movies. Even still, do I think that this movie should have not been cut as long as it's been cut. At least a half an hour, I get that. A 2.5 hour movie, I could live with.
2.5 hours, usually the sweet spot for epic blockbusters.
Yeah, exactly. And considering that usually these team-up movies are relatively simple. You just superheroes team up to stop a greater threat that not one can handle for the most part. But yeah, so that's like my only issue with it, really. Like, I feel like we got kind of cheated, and I don't understand how. I know they do it because they want to fit more showings or whatever, but why are you going to risk the movie's success by cutting it? And then thinking that you're going to alleviate that by giving us a extended Blu-ray cut.
Well, I think the only thing is for me to think that they did something like that is that they don't have faith in it, because I just don't see how all these previous movies you have no problem cutting it, but this one you do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's retarded to me. And Warner Brothers, I don't know. I really don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, we go back to Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and Harry Potter. Those franchises, for the most part, were done right. You can go into that argument that it wasn't as good as the books, whatever. I hear that shit all the time. But as a person who never read the books and has no desire to read the books, I thought the movies were
fit everything that's in the books and in the movies.
That's the thing. I mean, you look at Game of Thrones, which is a TV series, and it did it pretty well for the most part. I mean, but the show exceeded the books, and then but yeah, it's hard to do that because, I mean, how big is a script? Like, you've seen a script before, like
how big is a script?
Like a Hollywood script, like how many pages?
Well, they go for, the standard is usually 90 pages because each page is like a minute screen time. That's the rule of thumb.
Shit. So you're talking about condensing a 500, 800 page novel into a 90 page.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
So that's why I, when it comes to think of it, I'm like, okay, I see why they left this and that out and whatever. That's why I don't really go into criticizing, because there's so much you have to condense.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lot harder to take certain things, and then like in books drag. Books are meant to drag. You know, they're supposed to, because there's no visual. They have to go in depth and give you
details.
Yeah, who looks like what, and what looks like what, and where is what.
Yeah, they gotta detail the action scenes and whatnot.
Yeah, so everything's a lot more in depth, to where like so that whole argument about whether the book is better than the movie. I mean, as long as the movies keep the heart of what the source material is, and that's all that should be. But with comics, it's weird, because comics, I think. It's weird how you can't, barring something like Marvel where they don't have rights to everything, it's really weird to see how you can't get a close to the source product in the movie with the comic book, when the comic book is a lot smaller than, even an arc is smaller than, because what a comic book is 20 pages, and that's taking out ads. It's about 20 pages. So an arc could be like six comic books.
Yeah.
And that's 20 times 6, that's 80 pages. I mean 120 pages, sorry.
Yeah.
That's
basically it's Hollywood script.
Yeah, exactly. So and the thing is, God, anyways, whatever. But back to my point, I don't understand what the fuck Warner Brothers is doing when you have something that is way more known than Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings for the most part. I mean, maybe everybody doesn't read a comic, but
they know.
Yeah,
these people.
Yeah, exactly. More people.
The Superman logo is like the most recognized logo, like the cross.
Yeah, people get tattoos of the Superman logo, and they're not even Superman fans. They just get it because they know what it represents.
Yeah, exactly.
And that says a lot. So you have a product like this that. All right, look at Disney, not with the Marvel stuff, but look at what they're doing with Star Wars. Like, look at how close and careful and like golden they're treating this product. Like, they're not just shitting out stuff just because, they're not doing things because they think it's right. They're actually allowing original writers. Lucas does have some kind of say in what goes on for the most part, but like, you have writers from Empire Strikes Back who are still writing and producing in these new films.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he I don't know if he's the writer of one of the writers of The Empire Strikes Back. I know he was doing 7. I don't know if he's still in it. I'm pretty sure he is, because the writing team, it's pretty big for the most part. But yeah, so anyways, so like they really are careful with this product. So you have something with characters like Batman, Superman, the Joker, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, what isn't really that popular compared to the other guys, but still, he's a big deal. And you have those characters, and you have villains like I brought up the Joker, Darkseid, not Apocalypse. You have Zod, Brainiac. So you have these characters, and they're so popular that, and I'll go as far as to say they've always been more popular than the Avengers. Like, unless you were a super comic book fan, like, you didn't really care about the Avengers. I mean, you knew of them. They've had a couple animated films.
Even with the Avengers on scene, they don't care about like two characters, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because without Spider-Man and the X-Men, nobody really cares. I mean, the Hulk is there, but my point is, the Justice League always has been more popular than the Avengers. So you would think that Warner Brothers would
back when the Super Friends, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, how many shows reference it? I mean, how many Family Guy jokes has there been about Justice League, Batman, Superman? They had like 4 Aquaman jokes. So it's like, what do you call it? Yeah, you would think that they would pay more attention to this. So it's just weird how they, like, I would feel like, yeah, if you didn't have I mean, I don't know. It's just retarded. Like I still think like you put out the best product you have. I mean, if you have to cut the film, you might as well just put the longer version in there.
I mean, the DC extended universe is in the state of it now. I mean, I've been really harsh on Zack Snyder, but now it's not only Zack Snyder. It's like the executives are the problems too, man.
I'm surprised Wonder Woman, like, was as good as it was.
Yeah. Even I was like, when by the time Wonder Woman's come out, I was like, if there's going to be one movie that is going to be Wonder Woman, because Patty Jenkins, and it's a different thing. I'm like, all right, whatever. And yeah, like you said, I'm surprised at how it came out, but
part of me feels like they didn't want to mess up the women fan base. Like they didn't want to disappoint them, so it's like they're more important than the comic book fan base in general, which is weird. But I mean, that's just me being stupid.
That's just the general audience are the ones that they're really, really trying to bring the attention to, because if you're the fan of it, they know you. They got your attention already. So.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just weird. Like, so if you're really that, like, if Warner Brothers wasn't confident in the original 3-hour, whatever it was, cut, I mean, even if that's the case, put it out there, because that's what the director sought out to create. And like if it's bad, then you could blame him. Now, it was definitely Warner Brothers' decision to cut it.
Yeah. So, I can't even put the blame on Snyder this time around.
Exactly. So we don't know what was in that hour of footage.
Exactly.
So you can't go back to Batman versus Superman. Everybody has their opinions on that, but even the people that didn't like it in the first go around, I've heard a lot of people say that the extended cut made more sense. That it made it more solid of a film. Like, yeah, you still can't excuse the big arcs in there, but there was
that's because Zack Snyder has a rep on making long films.
Yeah, it's attention to detail. I mean, it's funny because it's just weird that it's just if now you're Warner Brothers, now you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not on Snyder. I mean, you also make what's his name? Whedon look bad too. Because
come to think of it, like then it just goes. So even with the Flash, when all these directors are signing on and like, okay, I'm dropping off.
Yeah.
Even at that. So what does that look for Warner Brothers? Mm-hmm. Like, who would want to work for them? Like, I mean, well, of course. Everybody, some starving director, be like, "Oh, life-changing money,"
Yeah, you never know. You might get lucky.
It still might not be worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
What if that movie flopped? Then what's going to happen?
It's like the same thing with the WWE. We always talk about, like, we say guys coming there would probably be the worst thing for them, but sometimes you never know. You might come and get your lucky break. So yeah, you might come to Warner Brothers at the right time, and what do you call it? And as a matter of fact, I've seen an article about Warner Brothers, the way they handled their employees. I forgot for what. This was around the time I think Man of Steel came out. Mm-hmm. They were just like sending letters to people and shit like that. Like it was weird. Like if I could find an article, I'll show you, because there was a lot of former employees that were like they were sending like crazy tweets and emails to Warner Brothers because of all that shit. But anywho, yeah. So now you make yourself look bad, and then. We got that movie coming out on Netflix called Bright, directed by David Ayers. Now, if you watch that trailer, it does look like Training Day, but in my opinion, that's going to be what Suicide Squad should have been, because it definitely looks like Training Day, but you add in all the fantasy elements and the orcs and the fairies, like. That's the comic book.
Yeah.
So, like, that movie, it's going to, in my opinion, is going to be what Suicide Squad was supposed to be.
Yeah, that director seems like the one-trick guy. Like, always got to be, like, law enforcement type things. Suicide Squad is basically, like, the one step outside of his realm.
Yeah. Yeah, because Fury was, even though it wasn't police, it was still military.
But he's still a good filmmaker.
Yeah. I mean... If it's not broke, don't fix it. Also, too, it could be like maybe that's the only jobs he's getting.
Probably.
Yeah, because sometimes, it's like those actors that I mean, this might be a bad example, but Danny Trejo, he's gonna get typecasted as, even if he wants to play something else. For the most part, they're gonna.
It makes sense.
Because there are some people out there like, all right, Channing Tatum. That's actually a better example. Channing Tatum, more of his bigger movies have been like goofy, funny-ish kind of things. Pretty boy shit. Mm-hmm. Have you seen Foxcatcher? You saw Foxcatcher, right? Yeah. That movie, you see his acting chops there, and it's like, as much as he may wanna be an actor, he's gonna, because of what the movies he's been in and the success that he's had there. Like, we're just gonna get that goofy Channing Tatum for the most part. But yeah, so it's weird. Like, so Warner Brothers, like, just like let these guys and girls do what they do, and if they fail, then it's on them. Then you're in the right. It's like going back to the James Dolan thing, like him bringing Phil Jackson. If Phil Jackson fucks up, it wasn't Dolan's fault because Dolan let Phil Jackson do whatever he did. But then if Phil Jackson succeeded, then he's in the win column because he brought Phil Jackson.
I mean, and remember the whole backlash with Batman versus Superman. I mean, they were already well into getting ready to start production for Justice League, and even that would be too late to be like, all right, Zach, out of there.
Yeah.
So probably they had Zack in his crosshairs ever since the whole Batman versus Superman backlash.
Well, there's an article I saw today. I didn't really read the whole thing. I just glimpsed at it, but it was apparently that Warner Brothers has been wanting to fire him, and that's not really saying anything about him. I still think it's them because, all right, yeah, we go to Batman versus Superman, and there was a bunch of shit that shouldn't have been in there, should have been split up, or whatever the case was. I mean, originally it was supposed to be Man of Steel 2. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't see Zack Snyder coming out and saying, like, from him personally saying, I want to make Batman vs. Superman. Like, I really feel that was like Warner Brothers' way of saying, shit, we got to make this shared universe work.
I mean, when Man of Steel came out, it was shared universe wasn't even in the plans.
Yeah, exactly. Like I brought up, from what I heard, that they thought it was gonna fail.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the plans, and now I feel like the worst thing they could have done was a Batman versus Superman thing.
Yeah, they could have done Batman versus Superman if they would have waited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, okay, cool. Superman, Superman got his shine. Give Batman his film. Give Wonder Woman her film. Yeah. Batman versus Superman was supposed to. Well, I won't say supposed to, but I think it should have been like, okay, a Trinity film. Yeah. These guys are at odds, and Wonder Woman's the middle person. Are like, all right, everybody's cool with each other.
Yeah, that would have made sense, and they didn't even have to give Man of Steel a sequel. Because if you're doing it that way, the first movie's set up. I mean, that opening scene in Batman vs. Superman was brilliant, in my opinion. Like, it gave Bruce motivation to go after him or whatever. But yeah, you could have done it that way. Yeah, it's just, but like that was Warner Brothers trying to catch up because like when they made Batman vs. when they made Man of Steel,
and old man Batman.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
Everything is just like it's just like bad decisions. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I could see the Zack Snyder doing a proper.
The reason
Frank
why,
Miller.
because Zack Snyder's a Frank Miller guy. That's why he did. I mean, you could still have the Frank Miller type thing, but he doesn't have to be old man Batman. It's just so.
No. There's a lot of mistakes, but like ultimately, like it really comes down to Warner Brothers. First, like, all right, you laugh at the idea of a shared universe, knowing this is a comic book universe. Like, it's weird that they weren't the ones to think of it first when they have all the rights to all their characters. Like, they could have done this shit.
They're the one that's supposed to be doing this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like
in the beginning,
and. It did kind of seem like it wasn't going to work from
you had all these. I think because of the reception with the Green Lantern.
That's because that was the first movie that came out after The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
and that was like supposed to be they had a lot of big expectations for it, and it's funny because that movie was only 5-10 minutes away from being a decent movie. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. All you had to do is make it, like,
yeah, exactly.
A lot of people call that a really bad movie, but it wasn't great.
They just
by any means.
focused on the wrong parts.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's nothing of they talked about.
Nope.
There's nothing.
Yeah, randomly, there's a beef between this dude and Hal. Like all of a sudden, this dude hates Hal Jordan. Like,
I mean, the Green Lantern animated movie could have been your perfect reference, but
yeah, it's crazy.
First Flight and the Emerald Knights. And there was a bunch of shorts, but still you could
take ideas from that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of movies that came from shorts, like The Babadook. That was but anyways, yeah, like it's just weird. So they put themselves in this hole, and then instead of like it's hard. I mean, I get it. It's hard on them because you made a big budget Superman movie, which maybe wasn't perceived well by the critics, but it wasn't a horrible movie by any stretch.
It was mixed
more
reviews by the critics.
More mixed than anything, like than the other movies.
I mean, I will take a mixed review than a universally panned.
I'm sure it made money. Like the reviews, but
it still made money and everything.
And it's in my opinion, it's my favorite Superman film. Like,
I mean, I could see why, because Superman Returns is like.
Oh, the critics love that shit.
They loved it, but me as a Superman fan, I just find it kind of weird. This guy is just a stalker. And
we talk about this all the time, where like these reviewers, these critics, these professional critics, quote unquote, they're not even fans of this shit. So it's like they're judging it from like, if it's not a Scorsese type film, then it's not,
Like I'm watching, like when Man of Steel first came out, I was reading the reviews. I was just looking at the comic book sites and all that. I wasn't looking at New York Times and everything. I'm like,
you can't look at these uppities.
It's just not fair for me to review something that I don't know nothing about or I can't understand anything about.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just like Harry Potter. I mean, I've seen like one Harry Potter film. Like it's in the middle of it. I was just watching that random.
You can't.
I mean, it's not fair to me to be like, oh, Harry Potter. It's just, I never read the books. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So unless I've read the books or know something about the universe, then my opinion should be like whatever. But just like how I was reading a review of a Halo game. Or was it Halo Reach? Mm-hmm. Or no, Halo 4 or one of those Halo games. This guy was talking about they should have aim down the sights. He took points called this aim down the sights and all this shit that Halo never had, that never made Halo. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to take you serious. You don't even know anything about Halo, and you saying this shit.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I don't like that whole thing is crazy. But yeah, like even with Power Rangers, like
I already knew.
Yeah, 90% of those critics, man, like
I already knew that.
I mean, honestly, like you hope that people that are not normally into this would find something and actually enjoy it. But yeah, like I don't. It's weird. I hate that people pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes and sites like that, where like that's their be all end all for, or even like some friends, because like I've heard people like say, oh, my friend said it sucks, so I'm probably not going to see it. Like, all right, your friends may think it sucks, but they may think it sucks, but you may personally like it. Like, you don't know. I mean,
there's some movies that I'll be like, I have really restriction, but I'm gonna see it sometimes or whatever.
Yeah. Like if you're remotely into Batman or Superman or whatever it may be, we're all comic fans, right? So like we're more than likely gonna watch a comic book movie, whether it's now or later, but we're gonna watch it, because we want to see for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Iron Man 3 came out, I was shitting on it like crazy, and X didn't want to believe me. He's like, he's gonna see it for himself, and when he saw it. He made an assessment for himself, not because I was telling him it sucked, but because he judged it for himself, and that's where, and it sucks because Batman versus Justice League, I think it's really hurting because of that. Like at least the financial, the box office success, like whether it was a good movie or a great movie or movie. Like, it should be doing a lot more better, a lot better. You know, I get it. Batman versus Superman. A lot of people hated it.
I don't think Rotten Tomatoes really had anything to do with them not going to see it.
That's a big thing, because I know a lot of people. Like one of my friends. I was looking at it was one of my friends was talking about. He said Justice League was awesome, or he liked it, or something like that. And one of my other friends in the comments was like, he said, he said something about Rotten Tomatoes, like giving it giving it shit. Like, I forgot the exact comment. I had saved it because I wanted to show you, and let me see if I still have it. Probably deleted it.
I mean, I look at the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but you're gonna go see it. Like,
yeah. Just so I could like temper my excitement if it really sucks.
But see, like a lot of people don't have minds of their own. Like,
I mean, like look what Rotten Tomatoes did with Batman versus Superman, and even it was panned. I still saw that weekend because I don't want to be like, hey, this movie's shit, without even seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's ignorance.
I mean, if you don't care to see it, you don't care to see it. But if you're gonna go bash it as if it's a bad movie, like, there's a difference.
Seeing it,
yeah, there's a difference between, like, all right, we see a trailer for something like Twilight, we don't care about it, we're not gonna watch it, but we're not gonna go write a big ass review, write articles talking about, oh, it's the worst movie ever, it's horrible, this and that. Like, you even go to Power Rangers, man. I remember how many people bashed Power Rangers before they even saw the movie. And then those same people that were bashing it, and that's because they're longtime Power Ranger fans, whatever. So are we.
But Power Ranger movie, the longtime Power Ranger fans love the movie.
That's the thing, though. We have a friend who was shitting on it because he's a big Power Ranger series fan. You know, he was complaining that this wasn't this way and this was that way, and they look this way.
Nitpicking guys.
Yeah, and he was like so adamant on like hating it. Like, it was in his head, and then he saw the movie and he put a long ass thing, like pretty much he was saying he had his foot in his mouth. But anywho, so enough of this like Warner Brothers crap. As far back to Justice League, like, as far as the characters, like
that little in the beginning of the movie. Well, we're in spoiler territory. You could talk all this spoiler shit, right? That's that video, the cell phone video. Superman was the little kid's name was Billy, apparently.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so that would be cool if that kid was Billy.
They casted somebody.
Billy Batson?
Yeah.
They already casted. Yeah, I know they already casted the kid though, but still.
That could be like a random kid because they didn't even show the kid. It was just like he was recording Superman like through his phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, that would be
that would be cool if it was Billy Batson.
And see, that's something they can do because they own the fucking rights to every single character, so they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they can put any little thing. Like, you could even have the Mr. Terrific building. That's his name, right? Mr. Terrific?
Yeah.
You could even have his building somewhere, even if he doesn't show up anywhere. You just have it there, just because.
And when they showing the thing from the war, they showed Zeus, who else? That other Green Lantern from the last century, that Green Lantern that Steppenwolf took out.
Mm-hmm. No, it was way before.
That was
because
old.
there was a scene where they actually get more in depth in it in the supposed cut, but there's a scene where they Wonder Woman's somebody's talking about the Amazonians is talking about the war on Steppenwolf and how they stopped them before. And they stopped him because they teamed up with the Atlanteans, like regular people and then they show like a Green Lantern just whatever flying around. He gets killed and the ring like goes off somewhere else.
He's not like the major Lantern. He was a like centuries old Lantern.
Yeah, just a made up Lantern. Yeah, just letting you know that
he's not a made up Lantern. He is actually in the comics, but he was like in the. Like in the 18th century.
It's just a character letting you know that he's that the lanterns were in there. But yeah, so like, and then like they had like LexCorp and Wayne Enterprises in like Man of Steel and things like that. So you could do whatever you want. But that'd be interesting if that was Billy.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. That was Billy.
Yeah, nice little Easter egg. I mean, I I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of Easter eggs that we miss. Because usually when you watch a movie for the first time, unless it's like in your face, you don't really.
And that right there, that when I saw that video, that right there just is like night and day with the Superman character, because he's here smiling, you know, talking to everybody. Not like, well, going back, I'm comparing, like going Batman versus Superman. You just saw how he is. He's just like down all the time. The world's flooded. This lady's having her arms up in the air. Superman just flowing down, looking down at her. You know, just like, man, that's how I see it.
Well, that was the purpose and the tone of that film. It was like the way they depicted him in the film was that he was torn between, like, does he help the people? Does he just say fuck the people? That was the whole tone behind
Remember
that.
the ending of Man of Steel 2 when he broke that fucking drone or whatever? Then he's like, hey guys, you're gonna have to trust me, and he said all that shit with a smile.
Yeah, but wasn't there years between that too? And then, like, there's people, like, there's a lot that happened. I mean, but they depicted him as being a sort of down and, you know, I mean, not down, like confused being. And I didn't have a problem.
Yeah,
with that.
I didn't get that at the end of Man of Steel when he just showed his charms, like, hey, you're just gonna have to trust me. I'm just gonna have to help ever, and you're just gonna have to trust me. He said that with a smile on his face, and
well,
just
that's
flew
what
off.
they went. That's what they went with in Batman vs Superman. I mean, there was years in between too. So.
I'm just showing a comparison of like how Superman we know, you know.
Well, they made him a little more. I still don't like the idea of them taking off the beard. Thought that was stupid. Like, he's been dead. Well, how long was it between Batman vs Superman and Justice League? It was months, or was he? It was like 6 months or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he could have fucking grown out his fucking beard, like.
But I take it that he was really dead, not like in the comics, like he was in a comatose state.
Oh, I don't know, but even still, like, you're cutting off his, CG beard. Come on.
CG.
CG not beard, like that. That whatever.
That was mustache.
That's man, fuck all that. That shit's stupid. But anywho, I don't know, whatever. But that's a little minor gripe. But all right, so Wonder Woman was relatively the same.
Same. She's the only consistent character so far of all these.
Batman lightened up a bit.
I do like this Batman character, because he went back like to his old movies. He's like, when he said some shit like Superman's more human than me, blah blah blah, and you know he got it. I was like, you get it.
Yeah.
And when he had that argument with Diana, he's like, well, at least I see Superman around. At least Superman's here doing something. He was going for like centuries in hiding in the shadows and shit.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yo, those are pretty clever dialogue. That I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, no, yeah, the back and forth, and I feel like there was probably more. Again, we're going into this, like, we don't know that like negative zone, uncharted territory kind of shit with this whole cut in the film, but I feel like the bickering would, because alright, in Avengers, the first Avengers film, I think my favorite part in that entire movie was the first half where they were all bickering with each other, they couldn't get along, and that we saw that for a little bit, but it was like a Cliff Note version, and and this would have been, I think, the perfect like movie for that, just because the actual tone of character, Bruce, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, they're all even Cyborg, you throw him in the mix, like, they are really, really different. Like, in the Avengers, they're different, but they're all more of the same. Like, Tony Stark and Bruce, they're both scientists, so to speak, and you have the soldier in Captain America, but then again, Hawkeye is also a soldier too, so it's like, and even Black Widow, though she's kind of iffy, but so she knows what it is to take orders, so it's kind of like they're all sort of the same. Yeah. And even Thor, though he's a god or whatever, he still takes orders. He's a it's weird, but with Batman, with the Justice League, they're all completely different people, like, on every end of the spectrum.
And they didn't overpower Batman in this movie, which I was scared of. I don't care what any fat fan tells me.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, they didn't make him like super.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually
they just made him like a motivator basically.
there's actually a scene in that thing that they supposedly cut out that he really got fucked up. Like I think it was Aquaman or Wonder Woman saved him. I think it was Aquaman saved him from the Batmobile. Like there's a scene that supposedly he got fucked up, and yeah, that's we want to see more of that.
I mean, hey, Batman's like one of my favorite, superheroes. But come on, those who read a comic book knows like this guy should not be in the Justice League.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I love how like in all the back and forths and like the comics, they're like, "What are you doing here? Like, what's your job?" You know?
You got these people telling me, "Oh, he's the smartest guy." I mean, like Flash is a scientist. He's a proven scientist. Mm-hmm.
You have a god.
Batman could fight, but Wonder Woman's the best fighter in all the DC comics. Mm-hmm. And, come on, he just. Get out.
You have a king. You have a god.
A king that leads continents.
Yeah,
it's like, what's there for you?
You have in the comics. You have a galactic policeman, like
exactly
a ring power
police
that can,
guy, and we got a cyborg that could just like hack into any computer and just be like, hey. Everything's covered. It's like, what are you here for?
Yeah,
just for fan service.
And I love how they're always shitting on him in the comics. Like, what can you do? Yeah. But anywho, yeah, it was cool to see that he wasn't super overpowered. And I hope that scene is included because I do kind of want to see that. But yeah, like Aquaman.
Well, Aquaman, he was cool. He was cool and everything, but he really didn't. He really didn't like I just like lost attention somewhere.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a character you need to see more about, especially the way he's been played by Momoa. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
His design is cool. His design is cool.
His costume and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the old school Aquaman to it's like mixing. It's pretty cool.
It's got a different bunch of different renditions in it, but I mean, he has the outsider down pat. Like I like that part that he played. It's just that with him, his character is so much more than what we're shown, and it's not. We're not shitting on this movie in any way, shape, or form. It's just that Aquaman is a big lore, so you need that movie to feel for him more.
Like we said, it's not Snyder's fault. It's not Joss's fault. It's just that we're just going by what it was shown to us.
Yeah, this really sucks, man. Because, all right, with Batman versus Superman, as long as you were able to make an assessment of whether you like the film or not. Man of Steel, you were able to make that assessment whether you like it or not. But this, it's like, dude, like...
Yeah, you're just, showing me, it's like such abbreviated thing. It's like, whatever. But Aquaman is he was all right for the scenes that he was in.
Yeah. Like I said, he needs more material to actually be able to.
If they all had their own movies, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. I always said that being that they have the rights to all their characters, they don't have to chase Marvel.
Which baffles me. I'm like, you got all your characters. You don't have to. Oh my god.
They don't even need. All they need is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And that's it. They could. I mean, that right there, that lore is enough to take on Marvel in itself. Like the thing is, this whole chasing Marvel bullshit. Like you don't have to do it because again, you have Batman and Superman. You have two of the most well-known characters, symbols in anything. Like, in and out of comics, everybody knows them. They're always referenced. So, you do things the right way, people are gonna... Like, forget this catching up to Marvel shit. Like, Marvel's doing what they're doing. Kudos to them. But you have the advantage in where you have all your fucking characters. You could do whatever you want the right way. They can't. Now, granted, they're doing it the right way with less...
It's funny how Kevin Feige, he's like... His hardest job is, like, getting the rights of other characters. While he's doing a good job right now, he's here he's breaking a sweat trying to get rights of other characters.
And it's I mean, we might see a turnaround because we were trying to figure out the whole Jeff Johns thing, and then Like
the whole Jeff Johns thing should take effect.
Yeah, because we thought it was cosmetic because they were just throwing his name around. But yeah, they did say that after Justice League, from Justice League on, he would be taking over. So
his name was in the Justice League as producer, I believe.
Yeah.
He was, right?
Yeah, he came in late in Batman versus Superman. That's the thing. He didn't come in till like I think towards the tail end of the film.
Yeah.
So like if you remember that feature thing they had on
I remember that
WB with Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns. Yeah. So he came in at the tail end of that where it was too late.
He basically put on Twitter like this has just begun, basically. So
yeah,
I guess his influence is in there.
They just got to figure out what they're trying to do with.
He wrote the Batman script with Ben Affleck, and that was. Dude, they just threw that in the trash.
I don't know what's going on, man. Because
they better have. You just throwing away a Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns wrote some good episodes on Arrow. I mean,
if you guys haven't read Jeff Johns' comics,
and plus we all know Ben Affleck is a good filmmaker.
That's another thing, man. All right, I get him stepping down from directing it. I completely get that because that's a big task to write and direct and act in any movie.
Yeah.
Direct and star in any movie, but to direct and star in a Batman film, you being Batman Bruce Wayne, that I think is the most pressure. I think the only thing that that'll give you more pressure is directing and being the main actor in a Star Wars film. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But Batman to direct and act as Bruce Batman, that's like if he was maybe Gordon or something like that, or Alfred, or I'm just throwing out names.
Just like a side character or whatever.
Yeah, he could be a main, but not a main, like one of the supporting roles, and but to take on, you're essentially taking on 3 different roles. So that's right there. I understand him stepping down, but then they get Matt Reeves, the guy that directed Planet of the Apes, the last 2. Did he direct all 3 or just the last 2?
No, the last 2.
Those were amazing films. Like War for the Planet of the Apes, my movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, despite all the great movies that I've seen so far, that right hands down is movie of the year. So to have that duo right there, and then Matt Reeves is still part of it, right?
Yeah. Last check.
Yeah, so it's like Affleck is rumored to be possibly leaving.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because I think he played an amazing. Not to say you can't get somebody else, but I mean, especially. He just came off these 2 films. Like, at least let him see it through. Like, if you want to kill him off and have introduce a Dick Grayson somehow and have him take over the role of Batman.
I mean, he already killed off Superman, so I guess.
Look, you have Jeff Johns as
anything is a go now.
Yeah, I mean, and they do tote the Superman and Batman logos in these films as symbols. So, I mean, there's different ways you could go around it, but yeah, it just sucks to see that this franchise, the Batman franchise, is in such turmoil because, like you have a Jeff Johns written Batman, possible Jeff Johns written Batman, acted by Ben Affleck, directed by Matt Reeves. Like, that right there is, I mean, kind of going...
I wish Jeff Johns could write everything in the DC universe.
Shit. But see, that's another problem too. Like you expected Snyder to do like 10 different movies, and like even comic book writers, not directors, comic book writers don't do that.
Yeah.
Like you have one tackling each different character, and then maybe somebody like, all right, so Jeff Johns is doing say he was doing Green Lantern at one point, but he was also doing Justice League.
Yeah. Like
that. All right, cool. And actually, you kind of want that because you need somebody to keep it cohesive. Mm-hmm. But you had Snyder doing Batman. There's somebody else doing this, somebody else doing that. Like, even though that was weird too because it seemed like Batman was not in the continuity of anything else, which is weird. It was like he was in his own world in the New 52, even though his stories were awesome. But anywho, so you kind of like expecting Snyder to direct like 10 different films, And then putting all this pressure on him and whatever. So, but yeah, this whole Batman stuff, it kind of sucks. But back to the characters, we had Cyborg.
It was disappointing because I really did see what Snyder was talking about, how he's the heart and soul of the movie.
And you didn't see that in the film.
Yeah, I could see that a good chunk of his backstory got taken away.
Yeah, and it was simple.
Chunk.
Like, they didn't even like reference it.
No, he's just there as if like we saw his last movie. We supposed to know anything.
Yeah, they said an accident. That was it.
An
and
accident.
They did have his father was there was a back and forth with his father or something like that, right?
Yeah,
that was
there
it.
was a back and forth with his father,
But not enough.
And you know his football career in Gotham's.
But that was like cliff noted.
It was just like. No, it was just like a picture. Right? Was it even a picture? Yeah, there was just like a little video on a computer. Saying,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, because like first of all, Ray Fisher did an amazing job. Like that was Cyborg to the T. I mean, Snyder also killed it with just the way whoever designed that too. Because that's one thing about the DC so far. Like you compare DC costumes to most of the Marvel costumes, I think are way better. Outside, like Iron Man's suit is amazing, perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's like spot on. But I mean, actually, you know what? I can't even say that because the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, has been solid. I'm thinking more of like the other comic book films, like X-Men and all these. Like when they decide to tinker with bullshit. But like these are like spitting images from like the parademons. But yeah, so the thing with Cyborg is Cyborg has a compelling story leading into this with him and his father. His father not accepting him because he doesn't want to be scientist. He wants to quote unquote waste his life for football. Then you have the tragic accident that was caused by the technology that his father was working on, and then him using that same technology, which later on it actually overcomes him. It is part of a bigger plan. So at least in one of the story arcs, the New 52, I don't know if it was the same in every story arc, but you had the Trinity series that led into Forever Evil, where the Injustice League came from another Earth universe, whatever. Adam whispered something in his ear, and then the suit came off of him, and it became Grid. And this was all part of a plan that they were concocting for fucking since Darkseid first came to Earth. So it's like, yeah. So Cyborg is a really big deal. So you don't really have to have he doesn't have to have his own movie, but another 10 minutes.
Yeah, Cyborg is the one guy with the whole Justice, the one guy in Justice League that didn't need his own movie before. He could have been introduced here.
He's like Alfred. Alfred doesn't need his own film, but he needs his pivotal parts in whatever movie to show how important he is. And he was important in, for the most part, every Batman franchise. I mean, especially like the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, you kind of need that. Like even Jeremy Irons, Alfred, though kind of Alfred, you get the hint by now.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to go that deep. I'm just using that as a sort of like comparison. But I mean, imagine how much more like impactful Irons' role would have been if they would have gave Batman his own solo film with Ben Affleck. Because I like him as a.
Yeah.
But Cyborg's a little more complex, but again, he doesn't need his own film. But it would have been nice to see at least 5 minutes more, like.
Yeah.
I mean, because you could have had like at least the first 10, 15 minutes of the film be sort of backstories to, what do you call it? Like for example, like how they had those videos with Superman. Mm-hmm. The kids were recording the videos, asking him questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have also included like what's his name? Like some footage of his games, and sort of like a continuing news footage. Like onto sports, and then talk about how he won his team state championship, and then right after that, boom, you go into like showing him in the game, and his father not there, some shit like that. It's very cliche, but.
Is Ray Fisher? That's like his first role or something like that. I
think so.
Because
yeah.
He was a theater actor.
Yeah, it's his first Hollywood film. It was like him and there was another Cara Delevingne, the girl that played Enchantress.
Yeah.
No, bullshit. That wasn't her first film because she was in some movie a while ago. But I think that was like her first big Hollywood film. Okay. Like. Blockbuster kind of deal, but yeah, Ray Fisher, to my understanding, yeah, he's a Broadway actor. theater actor.
Oh damn! I would never know that because it's.
Well, I mean, a lot of theater actors got kind of good good
yeah,
cred.
that's true.
I mean, you look at Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman
Because-
goes back and forth with
Because theater and film acting is like a whole different
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I give it to Ray Fisher.
Right.
It just sucks that you could just see that the most of his arc is just like chopped.
Yeah, that's the one thing that bothered me because he was spot on, Cyborg.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I mean, you couldn't ask for. If one thing, you could criticize these DC films for the most part, at least the Justice League, but you take like what Ben Affleck did in this film, how they had depicted Superman in this film, Ray Fisher as a Cyborg, like they've been pretty. Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman.
I was reading some forums and people were complaining like, "Oh, he's not the Teen Titans Cyborg." I'm like, nah.
He's the Justice League.
No, he's the Justice League. Just like when in Justice League when he first became Cyborg, he was just the same thing how I saw in the film.
You know what's funny? It's because of people like that. Yeah, Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel was really with darker films. But what I'm saying is that because of those people that want these kiddie versions of like kiddie renditions of characters, I want to see more serious shit.
No, it's just that these people they like to talk, but they never read a comic.
That's what I'm saying. They're basing their knowledge off of
some outside shit that's like. I mean, yeah, Teen Titans Cyborg is cool though, but this is based off the New 52 is a Cyborg, which is a whole different ballgame.
That's the thing, and New 52 all around is relatively dark. It's a more serious. I mean, DC's always been more serious than Marvel for the most part, even with their outlandish. No. Actually, no. It was. Yeah. Marvel was the one that though they took serious tones. It was more like they weren't as serious, because they had some joking characters. But yeah, DC's always been like that. And the New 52. See, that's the problem. Like. So most of these people that are bashing these films, at least the tone and all that stuff, like, dude, you've never read a comic then. Because I've read Spider-Man comics where it's dark.
Yeah, Spider-Man got real dark.
Dude, Maximum Carnage.
Exactly.
Like, he has to make decisions, like, like people dying and things like that. You don't see that in Spider-Man films.
Venom himself.
Yeah, any Venom arc. Anything with a symbiote. Like, it's I don't know.
Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, that right there is one of the most controversial fucking one of the most controversial.
And that was like in the 80s, man.
And Spider-Man has constant run-ins with the Punisher, with Daredevil, with Kingpin. Those are serious characters. Yeah, he uses his wit to get by bigger characters, but it's not a comedy show. Like that's just him. Like there's characters that do that they just utilize their wit. I mean, if I was a superhero, I'd be an asshole too. I would be the biggest asshole just because, like, but I mean, like, whether I was good or bad, I just mean, like, Spider-Man, he's an asshole. That's how he gets past some of these bigger villains that may overpower him. He gets in their head.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy freaking died. She got thrown off the bridge.
Dude, that scene right there, I mean, that scene in that last movie, I was not expecting her shit to snap like that.
Out of there.
Like, that was, and that's the thing, like, you can have that and still be, you could still be a kid-friendly film, you could still, like, kids could still watch it. Like, dude, we grew up on fucking Disney films. The Lion King, Bambi.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, dude, Fox and the Hound.
Opening scene, his mother gets shot.
Yeah, dude, Fox and the Hound. That is probably the darkest.
The Land Before Time is not Disney, but
still, it's a children's.
Yeah, the freaking shark tooth.
Yeah.
Scary shit, man. Scary shit.
Yeah, like
baby dinosaurs running from that dude.
So you trying to protect kids when The Dark Knight. Kids still love The Dark Knight.
But the thing is, that's part of life.
Yeah,
dark shit happens,
and that's the whole point of superheroes. It's for the villains to be villainous, to be scary, to be seem overpowering, but heroes come together or whatever, and they conquer.
I mean,
there's
there's casualties, there's consequences, man. There's shit like that.
Dude, that's a lifelong tale that's been told since the beginning of time. Superheroes are not something new. I mean, you look at the Bible, you look at the stories about gods and whatever whatever mythology you follow. Like it's the same story. So like my thing is like shit could be dark. So yeah, like whatever. You want a kitty thingy thing, kitty show, excuse me, or kitty movie? Go put on Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, I just don't like having debates with people who say things and like, dude, have you read a comic? I mean, have you read some arcs or something? Just
you know what's the punchline to all this, right? So parents complain that kids, it's too dark, whatever. These kids, in no way, shape, or form did they think it was dark.
True.
Dude, I don't know if he was there at Comic-Con when I was talking to one of my friends who I had just met for the first time. Apparently he knew me for a while, but his son came up to me. He was like 2 years old, something like that. Came up to me dressed up as the Joker, as like the creepy Joker that I am. And he wasn't afraid of me, but he told me that he was afraid of Spider-Man. But anyway, so the thing is, like, these kids, they don't even like go to video games. Like, kids know they're playing a violent game, but if you're a proper parent, then you don't gotta worry about them doing all that shit, dude. Like, we grew up on we grew up on a lot of shit. Like
yeah, just the mothers of Americas and all that,
Yeah, so you want these, and that's why like I'm like an advocate for this serious shit, because one, as a comic book fan, and two, as like I grew up on this stuff, man. I grew up on stuff being serious, and like I'm trying to think of something that like I'm the first Ninja Turtles, although that did get shit from parents, but I mean, like, you watch these things, and even as a kid, like, there's a sense of danger, but what are the heroes there for? Heroes are there to protect it.
I mean, can't get any darker than a fucking a guy with blades on his arms want to cut shit up, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, you got ninjas in masks that you can't see their faces. You don't even know if they're human. I mean, stormtroopers, Darth Vader. Like, come on. Like, well, anyways, whatever. But but Ray Fisher did a great job. What was your take on Ezra as Flash?
I mean, it's his character is kind of, I mean, like, in Power Rangers, like how Billy's autistic.
Yeah.
I know they probably ain't trying to say nothing, but I just saw Ezra like in Billy, but without him being the heart and soul of the thing. But
yeah,
he was just weird. I'm like,
well, you know what's funny about
they don't want to say all that.
Like, people that are like that tend to be smarter, like on another level or more creative.
Exactly what he is.
Yeah, that's like, so they come off as maybe having a disorder, and maybe they do have disorders, because we all have disorders. Yeah. Like, whether it's been diagnosed or not, when you have ADD and shit like that. Yeah, you have Asperger's.
No, I really don't.
I'm not. I was agreeing with. I was agreeing with you. But anyways,
I got burgers on my ass.
we know what the term is. But yeah, so like they come off as that way. So so that what else?
Yeah, he's cool. Doesn't know east or west and all that, but he's a genius. But yeah, I mean, he does not look like the Flash I imagined. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see him as a Superboy or whatever when I first saw him in that scene. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he does not look like the Flash I imagined. But
or a Robin.
Yeah, even that. But the way how he is, yeah. I mean, he got the character good, but the looks, nah, he doesn't look like the Flash.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
at least he got the character for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of people liken him to Wally. Being a little more, kooky.
Yeah, he was more of a Wally than Barry.
But I mean, but I see that doesn't bother me too much when you're not going to have all those different Flashes in this universe for now. Mm-hmm. Like, just take the best traits from each Flash and make it your own.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. I mean, they just showed his father in the freaking thing. I mean, like, yeah, another unfinished backstory we're gonna see here.
Yeah, there was supposed to be stuff with him and Iris.
How could you even take her out there?
That's
the
what I'm
actress
saying.
who played
Yeah.
Iris, oh my gosh, she looks good.
See, that's what's bugging me, man. There's so many like big pieces in there. Like even with Gordon, I feel like there's a little bit more Gordon in there. Though we don't need more of him, but I mean, I feel like there's a lot of little things. But yeah, but I like them. I mean, I haven't watched the TV series like that. A lot of people comparing them to whatever. I've seen like the first couple episodes. I know enough of his character. He's not as kooky as Ezra's.
Who are you talking about? Flash TV? Grant Gustin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got a good Barry Allen going on.
Yeah. But what I hate
selfish ass too.
But what I hate though is when people compare and they forget that this guy has had how many seasons?
Yeah.
So like you go to like Jared Leto's Joker. Like Jared Leto's Joker did not have enough on-screen time for you to properly judge him. I mean, I think from the little we had of him, I thought he was fine. Outside of like the couple times where he sounded like the Mask, you know, like. But the thing with the Joker is you can't pinpoint his personality. It's like things he does, things he says, the way he speaks because he's a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So like people complain about him having the tattoos. Now you think of it like this. The Joker's crazy. Is that something he would not do? I mean, like, matter of fact, in one of the comics, I think it was a Frank Miller comic, he has a big tattoo on his back. I mean, that's just on his back, where it's not that visible. But the whole thing with the Joker is, like, what you don't know what to expect from him. So for people to actually expect certain traits from him, outside of being psychotic and chaotic and, you know, masochist or whatever, then, yeah. But, so, yeah, it's kind of unfair to knock Ezra. I think he's another character that I definitely... not only because of his character, but just Ezra and his portrayal. I think he would benefit from having a film and a half, you know, under his belt. You know, because it's like, you know, obviously it's the Flash. The Flash is a big character. Yeah. But just Ezra is a sort of different take. So you need to become accustomed to him. But I feel like he would be a guy that if they did make a movie around, I think it would work. It's just a shame, like we brought up before, that they went through how many
directors?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's talk about a Flashpoint, right? But and you would think that would be because it's a, you know, changing reality thing, that it would be a way to fix the things they did wrong, and but the whole thing with that is, and I didn't even realize this as far as trying to fix things, quote unquote. He went back in time, messed shit up, went back to fix it. So initially nothing changed. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do that, the whole point is that he went back to go back again. So if you do that, then if you're doing that to change what happened, I mean, if you're doing it to make it, all right, cool. But if you're doing it to change things, then that's kind of stupid, because it's almost like what they did with Days of Future Past. When they made that movie to supposedly fix things, and
you didn't even go along with it. You just okay.
Yeah, and not that the following movie was horrible, but it was just like,
what's the point of Future Past then?
Yeah, exactly. Like you could have did that after, but yeah, it's crazy. Oh, you know what's funny? I meant to say before, so this is a little digressing a little bit, but so Snyder, remember how I was saying that I'm almost sure he really didn't want to make that Batman Superman movie the way it was made. And you look at it like with Singer. Singer, remember, he didn't want to do Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
And then that's the reason why he didn't do 3 the first time, because he didn't want to do Apocalypse. But the studio made him do Apocalypse. So the second time he caved in, because he didn't want to lose the opportunity again. But so yeah, that's the whole thing with these studios, man. Like, all right, like Disney. I remember when Disney took over Marvel. Same thing when Disney took over Star Wars. Everybody's like, oh, they're gonna be Mickey Mouse, this and that, blah blah blah, all those stupid jokes and shit. But honestly, Disney, I can't say anything bad about them, because they've let those products be those products. Yeah, maybe things are a little toned down, but you can't even say that, because in Marvel movies they curse. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of shit bombs dropped. I feel like, have they ever said fuck in
No.
Not, they haven't got there, but they say shit a lot.
What you mean? Fuck in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
No,
there's never been one.
No, they're only not even in the Netflix. I think Punisher said it once, and that's the one and only time they could use that.
Yeah, well, they got
they had a big article on that.
It's weird how, like, because I know with the R ratings and all that stuff, like, you could only drop a certain amount of F-bombs, and the was it blood comes into play? That shit had a lot of blood, so at that point you might as well drop a couple F-bombs if you got that much blood in that shit, because that was crazy. But
yeah, Punisher said, I think he dropped the F-bomb in the Daredevil.
Okay.
Well, still got a lot of blood too.
Yeah. Well, that's something we got to get into eventually. Probably. So I know somebody said it at least. I mean, it's not like a big thing where they're gonna make a whole gag about the F word. But I mean, you would think.
I'm pretty sure I heard.
I mean, yeah. But my thing is with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they do curse. There's a lot of adult kind of jokes in there, so you can't they tone it down a bit, but you can't, you're not gonna make it a G-rated film. So my thing is, what was I getting at?
You were on Ezra Miller,
Flashpoint.
Then we went to Bryan Singer.
Oh yeah, Bryan Singer. Oh yeah, because I digress. I popped up into my head for multiple reasons because we brought back the whole reality change thing. But yeah, so Ezra was cool. I mean, yeah, even when they first casted him, I was like, that's not a guy who I would have picked for the Flash. But I like Ezra. He can act.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were all shitting on him. Well, at least you were shitting on him. He's a model.
But nah, I know he was a good actor, but
the whole
model thing, yeah, that was whoa,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that is it
that movie when they were stuck
the
in
Stanford prison experiment?
I didn't see that.
Watch that
You
shit.
didn't watch that with us?
Like mad superheroes. No, it was just us two. Mad superheroes in that movie. He's in it. Young Scott Summers is in it. There's a bunch of cats in there, but yeah, it's a good movie. But he's one of those dudes that he's a good actor, so I don't mind seeing him in things. What else? So yeah, Wonder Woman was essentially the same. Steppenwolf. Let's talk about Steppenwolf. I see a lot of shit on him.
Because he's just a generic bad guy and everything.
See, this is why I hate this Marvel DC fanboy bullshit, because all these Marvel fanboys are shitting on Steppenwolf when
Ultron was basically generic too.
Dude, Ultron was the biggest disappointment ever. I mean, you talk about Batman versus Superman being a disappointment. Dude, Ultron was a disappointment. I mean, like, dude, that shit, like, I've got into that too many times, even when it's out of context or whatever. But so yeah, Steppenwolf. I mean, I guess this is coming from us. We're comic book fans, so. But like,
I mean, there's not much to be said about him. I mean, he come in, he wants to conquer this world, and that's it. It's not like he was just a made asshole.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be Darkseid's right hand man.
So it's not like Tony Stark's dissed some guy and he turned out to be
yeah, exactly, right. Like,
he's not like that kind of thing.
How many times have we seen that in Marvel already?
Yeah.
Ant-Man, Iron Man, and I'm scared that that's gonna happen in Black Panther. Because they got the other Panther suits. Like, dude, if that shit happens in Black Panther, like, if that's the main story, I'm gonna be pissed. Because, like, that right there, that shit needs to be, how many times we're gonna see that stolen suit shit?
I mean, yeah, it's the same, he's just a generic bad guy. Just
he is.
By the book bad guy.
Yeah, he's always been that. Because the thing with him is he's supposed to be Darkseid's right hand man. He works for Darkseid. He sort of scouts, but he also has ulterior motives. He would, if he could overcome Darkseid, he would, but he knows he can't.
I mean, you do have a sense of his quote unquote badassness when he just ran through the Justice League the first time around.
Oh, dude,
he just like, yo, get out of here.
League.
He was here flexing on them.
He killed Amazon.
You know what I'm saying?
He killed the Lantern.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then on the underwater base when they went to that underwater base they fought the Justice League, he was flexing on them. He was like, yo, insects and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all that changed when Superman came on scene.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because this is another thing they talked about in those quote unquote deleted scenes where there's they show more of him, more of his motive. They show him talking to what he refers to as his mother.
Yeah.
And supposedly they actually show Darkseid kill him. or fuck him up or whatever. But like
100 lashes,
dude. I mean, we all knew that was happening anyway.
Yeah,
That's exactly what you said when he got teleported up there. But
it was just funny how his whole character changed. Like when Superman came on scene,
yeah, he's like shit.
Superman Paul. He's like, oh, he felt that one. He's like, oh shit.
But he still fought though.
He still fought though, but his attitude changed. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I gotta come up with something.
Well, they dropped that line from the film where he was like, "There's no Superman, no protector, no lanterns to protect you." So like. He knew, no Kryptonian, no lanterns to protect you, whatever. So like he knew that what Superman was gonna possibly give him. I mean, they have an idea what Kryptonians could do.
Dude,
so,
I was dying.
But yeah,
he was flexing on him all day. Superman punching him in his mouth. He was like, "Oh shit!"
But yeah, so like I don't really see the big deal. I mean, like You don't complain about Ultron. Nobody's complaining about Loki. Nobody's complaining about.
I think Loki for me was an annoying fucking bad guy.
Yeah, see, I like him, but but he's not the Loki that he's supposed to be. He's just a bitch.
Yeah. A crybaby, a brat.
He shows flashes of that like maniacal, the Joker that he can be. Like that kind of villain.
He's just his whole motive is just being a crybaby.
Yeah.
That's why I can't stand Loki.
I mean, but yeah, so like that's the thing, and nobody complains about that. I mean, look,
but everybody loves Loki for some strange reason. I want him to go. I'm just like, yo, kill this guy already.
I think he's gonna die in this movie.
Good.
Yeah, because they show that scene where he's holding a Tesseract, and that's one of the first stones that he got. So yeah,
out of there.
But it's like. I mean, nobody complains about that, so it's like you can't be hypocritical when like you have the biggest villain in the universe is not even an actual villain right now, and that's Hydra, and whatever.
It's not one person.
Exactly, it's an organization, and they're most of the shit that Hydra's doing is like low key. It's not even on screen. Like you just feel their effects, but whatever. So Steppenwolf, I didn't have a problem with him because.
I did. I knew what was going to see. A generic bad guy.
Yeah, this is leading to Darkseid.
Yeah, exactly. And a generic bad guy leading to Darkseid. Like, okay, boom.
And Darkseid is also a bigger deal than Thanos. Well, kind of. I mean, he's more. I want to say he's more prevalent than Thanos. Like he's around more than Thanos. But Thanos is a big deal. I can't shit on Thanos like that.
Thanos is a big deal.
But then again, could Thanos beat Darkseid without the glove?
Yo. Darkseid is a god. Darkseid killed gods.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That Omega Beam, dude.
Darkseid killed gods to claim that shit. Yo.
I can't wait to see that Omega Beam in films, man. Dude, like, and one thing, too, like, and I really hope that... See, this is why I want Snyder to be part of this still, because, I mean, I don't know if he has say in the design. So I'm pretty sure he kind of does, because he is the director, and, he has final say for the most part of what. So what he's done well with these films and with Watchmen is the designs. I mean, look at the parademons. Look at how spot on they look. Mm-hmm. Steppenwolf didn't look that bad either. I mean, they could have put more detail into him, but he was a throwaway character anyways for the most part. I mean, if you talk about his Earth 2 counterpart, now that's the Steppenwolf that you better watch out. That's the dark side of that world. But yeah, that was my only disappointment with the film, and honestly, I was not disappointed with what they gave us. Which I guess this is a perfect segue. Chris, you did I tell you this or no? The end credit shit?
Yeah, you told me.
Okay, so you know. All right, so going into this movie, we all knew it was leading into Darkseid. Steppenwolf, the Mother Boxes, the Parademons, the Apocalypse and all that. So we all knew it was leading into Darkseid. Now my thing was like, I was like, if nothing in this movie, as long as they show Darkseid once, some kind of glimpse of him, kind of like what they did in Avengers, I'll be fine. We got 4 Darkseid in there, which maybe got me hyped, but
they just need to say that once.
Yeah, that was it. That was enough. But we didn't get a look at Darkseid, and at first I was mad.
I mean, but I guess they saved it down for another redesign or something.
Yeah,
there got to be a reason to why they didn't show Darkseid.
Yeah,
they barely even mentioned him, really.
But also, remember, the scene's cut, and supposedly there's that one scene where he kills Steppenwolf, so maybe But yeah, we don't know what's the reasoning as to why they're showing.
I mean, for all the Justice League doesn't even know about Darkseid, right? I don't think they have any knowledge.
They don't
whatsoever.
really know. They have ideas of that something was coming, but they really once they saw Steppenwolf, I think that's all they knew.
Yeah, I think that's who they think is. Well, basically, that's who they think is coming, right? That's who they really think is.
They don't know who Darkseid is.
They don't know. They have no idea about Darkseid.
Yeah, they know of Apocalypse.
Yeah, because Steppenwolf is still
from Apocalypse.
So they think Steppenwolf is the.
Oh, they were trying to turn the Earth into Apocalypse, which is...
so they think Steppenwolf is the big baddie from...
And
they know he ain't dead yet, so...
Yeah,
so they have no idea there's a bigger beast out there.
I just wish he didn't even have to confront him. I just wish there would have been some, like... Even if it was like the Young Justice scene where... Not obviously nobody's talking to him, but you just see him standing with his back facing the camera, with his arms behind him.
His back.
Dude, I would have fucking pissed myself. But what we got, I cannot be mad at all. Like, I think this is like the biggest consolation prize ever. So we get a camera shot of, like, you know, there's like a yacht. So, you know, oh no, before that they're like showing the prison. They're calling Luthor's name. The guard is like, if you don't come over here, like if you don't whatever, like some shit. I forgot exactly what he said. Pretty much he was gonna beat the shit out of him, something like that. And then they show the camera, and like it's some bald guy who's like laughing. Now I want to know if that's actually somebody or just a random, because I thought Saz at first for some weird reason. I was like, I mean, you can do it, but I don't know who that guy was. But anyway, so the next shot they show a boat, a yacht. Show some people getting off a boat. One of those guys happened to be Deathstroke.
Yeah, that brought a grin to my face.
Dude, I mean, first of all, going to the costume design, on point.
Right there.
Yo, Chris, people were shitting on that design, right?
People cannot be serious.
Dude, Chris finds the most fucking stupid articles. They were comparing...
No, I was at GameStop. People were comparing the show suit to the movie suit, saying the show suit was better. The movie suit. All right, look,
the first show suit sucked. The first show suit sucked, but then they fixed it, right?
That fucking mask.
I mean, compared to this suit, but because didn't he have a different suit in the series before? Like
that was basically not him.
Oh, okay. So all right, that's fine.
He just had a regular tactical thing on the mask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I remember. But okay, but his actual suit, and because they do show him with his actual suit in Arrow, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So actually, okay, I remember the difference now. I've seen pictures. But yeah, like they're both dope. But this suit looks.
Well, the suit got more money put into it.
Yeah, and it looks great. It looks like super spot on.
That suit is basically the same suit from Batman Origins.
Yeah, it's what we see in the comics. Like it's a spitting image of. So for people to complain about,
you cannot get any better than that. Really,
you
cannot get any better than that.
So he goes to he meets up with Luthor, who's in the boat. And what does he say? Like, don't you better not be wasting my time or something like that.
Luthor wanted a league of his own or something like that.
Yeah. So essentially, we're getting either the Legion of Doom or the Injustice League. Now that right there, I think, was the biggest thing ever, because that right there is, I mean,
for League 2 for Justice League 2.
Yep. Wait, because, huh?
I'm trying to think of the.
There's a couple different other names, but there's Doom, there's Legion of Doom, there's Injustice League.
Yeah.
There's a couple different. There's like another name too, but those are the two most. I hope they call it Legion of Doom.
Yeah, that'd call it Legion of Doom. That'd be, because the Injustice League just sounds too tacky.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like I think
Injustice League is mostly like the big villains like Joker.
Yeah, the Legion of Doom was not really like. Or it had some of the bigger villains.
The Legion of Doom was spearheaded by Luthor.
That's the thing too.
No,
and
it was Vandal Savage.
No, Luthor.
The OG was Luthor. Then it was because the OG was Luthor, Solomon Grundy, Black Manta, Cheetah, and somebody else. Notice how there's no Batman. Well, Grundy is kind of a Batman villain, or is he a Batman villain?
No, Grundy, he's just
he's a DC villain.
DC.
Right? Oh, okay, so he just has run-ins with everybody. So, but yeah, so, and I think, honestly, the way, I know a lot of people don't like this Luthor, and honestly, from the get, he didn't bother me, even though he was quirky. I mean, you want to complain about him being kooky, look at the first Superman movie. I forget the guy's name that played him.
Oh shit, I forgot. Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman. That you remember that movie, right? Yeah. He was crazy. He was like weird, kooky. He wasn't like a super. I mean, he did show the scientist aspects, but he was like, I mean, the way he looked, his hideout was like. But anyway, so I did like this, and one thing about this Luthor, he's pretty smart though. He is a nut because apparently he lost it in the film because he was messing with the mother box or something like that. I still haven't seen the Ultimate Edition.
He saw one of those god things to do with Darkseid.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the new gods or something, some shit like that. But anyways, so there's a reason why he's kooky. But anyways, the thing is he's smart. So for him to call it the Injustice League, I think that's just like stupid. Yeah. Like give it a different name. So anyways, the Legion of Doom. So we're getting that, and that's cool because you know what too, that takes some building up too. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna
they could build the Injustice League with the end credits of other movies.
Yeah, you look like for example, like I know Ares is not in it. He's not in it. But example, you beat him. Say he doesn't die. You know how a lot of superhero villains don't die, you know. So yeah, he comes back, end credit scene, boom, like Luthor's like, you know what? Yeah, so it's almost a reverse of what Marvel's doing. Mm-hmm. And you could do that. You don't have to devote entire movies to this, but you can build up to that, and then that, you know, it just creates a lot more leverage in their way. And again, they have the rights to every single one of their entities, characters, places, buildings, whatever it may be. So like they can't not use a negative zone like Marvel, which is weird seeing an Infinity Gauntlet War movie and there being no negative zone, none of that, because that's all. Yeah. I mean, even the Civil War had the negative zone and all that. So, but they make it work. So you give them props to that. But yeah, so we didn't get a Darkseid, which I was extremely upset about, even though I know he's not coming yet, and I just wanted to see a glimpse of him because I just had that vision in my head.
Well, now that this phase, this Snyder phase is over. Mm-hmm. Now that we might get some, you know, now that this is over, now that we might, you know, get something else to build on.
Yeah,
I mean, Snyder's influence is gone.
Well, the key is whether Snyder is there or not. It's Jeff Johns. Mm-hmm. So, like Snyder could still be a part of this, but Jeff Johns is the guy who's actually
spearhead.
He's blueprinting everything. So, whatever Snyder did in the past, whatever he may continue to do if he's still on board, which probably not, but he, you know, that could be a possibility. But yeah, as long as Jeff Johns is manning the ship and, you know, mapping things out, then we should get solid stuff, because there's been, within the mess that we have gotten, and I don't include Justice League in this mess. I hear people bashing it more. I actually see more positive stuff on Facebook than negative. Like, a lot of people, as far as what I've seen, they at least liked it.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
I don't think I've seen a status saying it was bad. Like, I'm sure there are out there, but I've seen mostly good stuff. I've seen comments where people were shitting on it, but anyway. But before this, there were things that you can take from each film that. Well, Wonder Woman doesn't count either. So Wonder Woman and Justice League, those two are in the right end of this. So with Batman vs Superman, with Man of Steel, and with Suicide Squad, there's a lot of things you can take from those films and build into that. You just gotta have this guy write the things the right way. And the whole thing is that with comic books, it's not like you're making a random film and trying to turn it into a franchise, but you're fucking it up. So you have like that's something you can't do. But with a comic book universe, you can change things for the sake of changing things. There doesn't even need to be an explanation. It happened. That's it. Like, you could find some clever way to change some shit or whatever. But yeah, so Like even with the Avengers, right? There's rumors that after Avengers 4, which is the follow up to the continuation of the Infinity film, that's going to be like the last of this phase. Now you can do a lot of things. The Time Stone. Mm-hmm. You know, you can take people, and there's a lot of different things you could do. You don't have to get too complicated, but anyway. So as long as Johns is part of this like really part of this, then I don't see why. Anything else you want to add to it?
Well, let's go with some weird things in Justice League. How outside the fisherman place, that the world of Justice League is unpopulated. It was just empty. It was just empty. It's like, yo, what's when Superman came alive, there was like only 2 cops. It's like,
yeah, that was funny.
It was just so jarring. I was like, yo, where everybody at? It's like, yo,
I guess the extras didn't even want to be a part of it. Yeah, no, that was weird.
It was just, I'm like, because I remember like where Aquaman was at, that little fisher.
Yeah, there was like a lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of people.
There's always people there.
And I noticed that because I'm like, okay, wait, that's it. That's it. There's like nobody else outside.
Everything was like back alley, middle of the night kind of shit. Like, yeah, but that one scene where Superman came back, there should have been more people.
There should have been more people, and there's like only 2 cops to like calm everything down. Like,
yeah,
are you serious?
I mean, unless Bruce with the power he has, like shut everything down or some shit. I don't know.
Even that, yeah, it was just too weird for it to be a global scale thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody's in their house, they're paradigms. I ain't coming outside.
Fuck that. People smart playing their PlayStation, man. Playing their video games.
Yeah, they supposed to feed off a bear or some shit like that. It was weird.
Yeah.
And there was another one. Like how that scene, go to that scene with Superman's resurrection was a good scene. Mm-hmm. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
I mean, people seem to forget that Flash going on this little thing, and Superman's eyeball turns like, nah, I see you, man.
Well, Aquaman was a part of that meetup, right?
He was there.
He was there? Okay.
Yeah, he was like, if something's wrong.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It basically shows Superman's power, like why he is needed at this situation.
Yeah, it was a cool scene.
It was a funny scene.
Yeah.
Freaking Flash running thinking he's slick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. That, and I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I'm trying
Wonder Woman, being the same awesome mother that she is.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, the one thing that DC got right.
I mean, I can't wait to see her follow-up film. Like, especially now that she's in this.
I think it's taking place in, like, the Cold War or something like that.
God damn it. Well,
that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, shit. I mean, how many memories that she has that she goes into hiding before she really comes out in Batman vs. Superman? Like, what seriously is going on here?
I don't know.
And you mean she comes out in all this time and nobody says anything and there's no documents?
Unless they want to make her outlandish villain seem relevant. That's the only thing I could think of, but even still, because maybe they're gonna bring the cheetah, and maybe I don't know something.
I don't want to see the cheetah in the 1960 Cold War, man. I want to see what she.
Well, the Cold War was in like the. Oh yeah, it was like that was like a 20-year thing. Well, not 20 years, but it was a long thing. Yeah, that's weird. Like, why not have her here now? Like, you already established that she lost Steve Trevor, and that really put a Deborah on everything. And I mean, you don't need to. It's funny that she went into hiding twice.
Yeah, that's just making it seem like she coward that she really is. I mean, I understand why she just was stayed in because she's still grieving the death of.
Unless
Steve.
You're just not gonna make a movie. Like, that's the only other thing I could see. Like, don't make a movie about... I mean, they're going to have to because her movie was so successful.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, if you're going to do that where she's, like, going into hiding and she's not... and she's just the big gun, then don't give her a movie.
Unless it's a piece that eventually ends up in, like, present time or fairly present.
You know what? I got to read more Wonder Woman. I haven't read enough Wonder Woman to get into her. Like I know enough about her, but yeah, I don't know. Like
Wonder Woman's Rebirth is pretty good.
I still want to read the new 52.
Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't realize.
Yeah, we slept on that.
I mean, I read the Wonder Woman and Superman. That was good.
You know what would be a great thing to do, and you can do this now that she has her own movie, Wonder Woman and Superman movie. Though I don't think they would do it, and it doesn't really make sense, but it would be cool to see that because I think that's the best scenario you can put them to in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it'll show more, but they're way past this, and I don't think it would make sense. I mean, for just in the scope of the DCEU, but I mean, like, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, though, she has her own movie. He has his own movie. You can do that. But, I mean, and who Apollo's in that, so.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing about that is Doomsday. Doomsday comes back, so. Was it Doomsday? Yeah, it was Doomsday came back that they ended up fucking getting caught in the they got caught in like a nuclear blast or some shit like that to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's too complicated. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. But I mean, whatever. She's fine though, and even if she doesn't, I mean, she's gonna have her own movie. But if she didn't, she had her own movie. We know what she's about. We know what she could do.
But I just feel it's kind of weird that they're just going back into the 1950s, 1960s.
Nobody needs that. Like, again, maybe we haven't read enough Wonder Woman that there's something really big that happened in that story arc, but, I mean, I doubt it. And it just doesn't serve a purpose when this stuff already happened. Like, if these movies didn't happen and you were leading into it...
I mean, I think it would be good if the conflict ends in Themyscira. If the conflict is in Themyscira.
That would make... Yeah, because...
That would because she's away from the public, and that would be understandable.
Yeah, that could be cool. Like, she's trying to live in the world, and then something's happening there.
Yeah.
So it'll be a reverse. Yeah, that you could do.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That I could live with.
But even still, you can still do that now.
Yeah.
But then
there's
it's kind of
that's true.
It kind of doesn't serve a purpose. But like I said, maybe we didn't read enough Wonder Woman that we don't know of something pivotal that happened at that time. But even still, yeah, like it's if Justice League wasn't made, Batman versus Superman wasn't made, then you can do that. Like if Wonder Woman came out and then that came out, then you transition into the modern times. But you don't need that. Like there's no point. It's not. If she was the only film in the franchise, like if they weren't doing the extended universe, all right, cool, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with kind of but with X-Men. I mean, they're in their own shit, so they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Not that we agree with it, but they could do whatever the hell they want. So yeah, but being that you're in an extended universe, because like they did it with Captain America, but then, I mean, obviously he got woken up at this time.
Yeah. That's how I look at Wonder Woman. She's the Captain America of this.
Yeah, except she wasn't frozen, but it was the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, things became relevant at this time. Like, danger came into I mean, then again, yeah, there's ways you can work it in there, but we don't need to see that. We already saw her World War, was it 2?
Or unless it, from the 1960s and it extends into the modern times.
Okay, yeah, it could start there. Maybe there's a big piece that happened.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. That'd be cool. But yeah, we don't need an entire movie in the 1960s because you know what's going to happen then. Her third movie is going to be in the 1970s or 80s.
Yeah, but all that is so weird because how in Justice League they made her seem like, hey, you on this freaking on the bench for like mad long.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
So you got to look at that.
Yeah, and I mean we know why she's stayed on the ground because she's grieving because of Steve Trevor. It's not like she's scared or anything. It's not. She'll fuck anybody up. She's just grieving.
Yeah. and her was it the woman that trained her?
It was really Superman that made her come out. The conflict between Superman and Batman that really made her come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she was looking into all that. But I was gonna say, she lost enough, but she lost.
And didn't she mention that she had never been in a fight like this in a long time when she was fighting Doomsday?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, so there's no point. I don't. Yeah, there's no point in that. I mean, see,
I don't want to be worried because Patty Jenkins is a pretty cool thing. I don't want to be like, oh shit.
Is she trying to be too much like far away from like on her own thing? Don't see. You everybody would complain about Snyder, but then she does that. She's just as bad as what people are making Snyder seem to be, because like you have an extended thing right now, like, and it's funny, like if Warner Brothers doesn't crack down on that they're stupid, because one thing, they don't care about the DCEU like that, and two, this is gonna sound sexist, but they probably afraid that because she's a woman they don't want to misplease her, and then but
well, they don't want to displease her.
Sort of a joke. But
they don't want to displease. Well, I know that, but
yeah.
They don't want to displease her. Maybe because right now she's on fire. She got the best DC universe there that everybody loves.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it'll be hard to be like, hey, to micromanage, be like, hey, nah, we want this and that. Like, you see my last movie? That's all she going to see. You see my last movie?
Yeah.
You want to fight about this?
Well,
you see everybody love my last movie.
She does got the rating on her side, but still, I mean, at this point, you're in a thing now. Like you can't be like
we all know that. Well,
egos.
Well, now that I'm saying that DC has no direction right now, but now we're in the Jeff Johns era. Mm-hmm. Basically, I don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah, I think Jeff Johns will sit down and talk to her, and I don't think
Jeff Johns would have to do that.
Yeah, I'm not talking bad about Patty in any.
But it's just rumors. What I'm just saying. There's they don't even have a set date yet. No.
Okay, so
it's like nothing to be worried about. But the 5 listeners that listen to us.
Yeah, but that would be dumb though. Like at this point, like you have an established universe right now.
I wouldn't say dumb. It would just be pointless.
Pointless and dumb, because at this point, you already have a bigger thing going on, and to just set her back, like you should actually have her fitting in with the world now. Like that's we got.
This is her second fight back in.
We got 2 full Captain America films where he's still adjusting. Mm-hmm. You have 2 full Captain America films. You have part of the Avengers film, and you have 2 Avengers films. So that's like pretty much 3 movies right there where he's been in modern world. So yeah, she's got to become accustomed to this. I mean, she seems like she's accustomed to it. Her painting, sculpture, whatever it is that she's doing. Her high class.
Yeah, but people don't know. Excuse me. People don't know that's Wonder Woman yet, which I don't get. I just don't get.
I mean, Bruce Wayne, Batman, I get it. He wears a mask. Like, how do people not know Clark Kent?
At this point, they should know, especially when he's died and Lois Lane's name dropping him in public. Like, well, it's an empty universe basically, but still name dropping in public. And it's common knowledge that he had a funeral in Kansas and freaking and he had a memorial. No, they know who he is. This is why. How is he going to go back into the world now?
And not for nothing, as far as like well, you know what? Some characters, and I've noticed in the comics too, that some characters don't care about their identity. Some do, and hence that's why the Civil War was a thing too. Because Tony. So you can have some characters who want to keep their thing. Yeah,
but the people like how Spider-Man and them, they keep their identities to protect the people around them.
It's a weird dynamic with Superman because like you. If he doesn't protect his identity, like it's gonna change his Clark Kent, because like if people know he's Superman, like he pretty much could do whatever the fuck he wants. It's weird how like
it is weird. Like I mean, how you gonna have your life now? Everybody knows you just can't be walking in the street with your glasses and be like, nah, just might as well wear your freaking S on your chest 24/7 now and just go patrolling.
Yeah, because like Captain America, he was always a soldier. That's really it. He's still a soldier.
He's always a soldier. Yeah. So I mean, well, the majority of the MCU, they don't conceal their identity.
No, outside of Spider-Man, the X-Men are the X-Men. Yeah, it's nobody.
Yeah, they don't conceal their identity, but
it's really just Spider-Man and Batman.
Well, Spider-Man is young, but I mean, we do know why people do that, because if they know who you are and they can't get you, they're getting the people you love.
Yeah,
that's the next best thing.
Well, the average. But like, it's weird with Superman though, because like you.
Well, Superman. Jimmy Olsen was already killed off. So
I guess that's some shit where you just gotta like ignore the logic behind it because like it gets too complicated because like people should know he's Superman. People should know Clark Kent is like there's no. I mean, they have the same body, the same face, they talk the same. They're never in the same place at the same time.
There's a difference. Kal-El doesn't wear glasses.
No, and then so like people should know, but then if people do know, then Clark Kent becomes irrelevant.
I mean, people. I mean, like I was watching the episode of Supergirl and James Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
He touched on like how people, because he's like, well, Clark Kent, he's just just a boring guy, just like nobody wants to believe that he's Superman because the way he is and. He's just an ordinary guy, quirky, just clumsy. Mm-hmm. No one would ever believe that he's Superman.
Yeah, even as much as they look alike.
No.
I mean, that's a good point. But it's just weird because you have to roll with that because if he's
remember Superman and Clark Kent is basically different. Superman's the more handsome jock, whatever. Clark Kent is clumsy and awkward and type,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is you can't go at it with real logic because like this is a comic book thingy, like and also too, like I said, if they got rid of the secret identity shit, like how you gonna go to work? Like I mean, like it's weird. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, how you gonna go? Like first of all, I'm working with a god.
Yeah,
I'm working with an alien. Like.
Yeah, who could do anything he wants and
right, like this dude. What's his boss's name? I always forget his name.
Perry White.
Perry White. Yeah. What's he gonna tell Clark?
Yeah, Clark, go on this. We got an assignment for you. Go blah blah blah.
He be like, what? He gonna give him that look that he gave Flash.
Yeah, he's like
side eye.
Yeah, all right. You know what?
Hey, Perry, I'm not coming into work today for the rest of my life.
All right, cool.
You gonna pay me your salary too? Okay. So whatever. But I don't know what
you ever seen that Jimmy Kimmel skit where he's talking to they did that scene where they were in the that Lex Luthor.
Oh, I saw
the Lex Luthor thing, and he goes, "Wait, you're Batman. You're Superman."
It was from BVS when Clark and Bruce were having that confrontation at that party. Then there was like Jimmy Kimmel like
on, Clark. He takes the glasses off Clark and then he puts the covers on Bruce's face. And then even Lex Luthor didn't see it. Then he saw it. He goes, "Oh." Because he goes, "You have a strong handshake." He goes, "That's because he's Superman."
I don't know where we got into the identity thing. Was it because of Wonder Woman? Yeah, it was Wonder Woman.
Talking about how he had two.
Oh yeah. Wonder Woman. Yeah. How people don't see that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But whatever.
She's another one that doesn't wear a mask. She's the one person that could go without that dual identity thing.
Same thing as the Captain America.
Yeah, that's why I said she's the Captain America of this shit.
Yeah, because it's different because she's a human still, but Superman is an alien. So it's like and I mean you could probably kill Wonder Woman. The chances.
It's a demi. Well, she's kind of a god.
But you can still.
She's not really human.
But you can still. I mean,
the way things is, bullets can still harm her.
Yeah, and it's funny because what do you call it? According to most lore, you can kill gods. Gods can die. Not everybody is like, this Christian God where the Christian God can't die. Like Zeus and all them, they can die. So, but the thing is, an alien, you don't know what the fuck an alien's from. As a matter of fact, like, according to ancient alien theorists, gods or whatever, or people were given their power from aliens. Gods were, how do you say it, visions of aliens, and they just created them in a, you know what I mean? Like they gave them an identity or whatever. So
I don't want no Men in Black.
No, but my point is with Clark and Superman, you don't know what an alien's capable of.
True. Yeah.
Even though gods are gods, I mean, you have stories about them, so you think you could beat them. Like, yeah. So, anyways, but pretty much, if like we were saying before, if Jeff Johns is actually manning the ship, the DCEU should be good. If Warner Brothers smartens up.
I can't see it being worse.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they brought in Jeff Johns for the right reasons, and like they Batman vs Superman and Justice League were shot or they were in production way too close to each other. So for any changes because of the backlash, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So you know what? You roll with what you have now. Justice League was a huge step forward. So whatever, you just go from there. So as long as Warner Brothers, as long as they actually let what's his name, Johns, do what he does, sort of like what Feige's doing and what Loeb is doing over in Marvel. Let those guys do their thing, trust in them, and because you did it with Harry Potter for 9 movies or something like that. Matter of fact, no, 10 and 11 or something like that. You're up to like 10 or 11 now with the Fantastic Beasts movies. So and they're all successful. They're all well received. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, though people say the Hobbit trilogy was nowhere near as good as Lord of the Rings, it's still not as bad as it's still not bad. So the thing is, just roll with that, man. Just roll with that. I mean, they're not listening to us anyways, but whatever. Mm-hmm. It's nice to put it out there. Maybe one day they just get bored. Oh, let's look at these fuckers' podcast, and who knows? Maybe they call us up and hey, you guys want to do this shit? But no, seriously though, if they let Johns do it, that would be
a great homework assignment for me.
Oh fuck yeah, man! What people doing things like that, to anybody who's an artist of any medium or whatever, whether you're a musician, an artist, a writer, a director, film writer, script writer, whatever it may be, challenges like that are great. Stressing over stuff like that, not being able to sleep at night, not being able to go to sleep because you have to work on stuff like that, is cool.
That's why I'm not jealous of anybody in Hollywood, but I would love Kevin Feige's job. Yeah. He's here talking. I'm like, yo, you having a good problem there,
right? That kind of struggle, as opposed to the being broke, having to go to work, dealing with the same bullshit, waking up in the morning, having to go to work, deal with the same bullshit, going home, the same exact cycle over and over again, not accomplishing anything. All that's doing is holding you back. So yeah, those kind of problems are cool. So yeah, you guys got a nice little problem ahead of you, but it could be fixed. Justice League was nowhere near the shitstorm that it could have been, or that people thought it would be. So
yeah, we might criticize, but we ain't sending you death threats or nothing.
No, dude, I don't think I've ever. Nothing in my life has ever made me want to send a death threat. I see these things.
It's not that serious.
Nah, man. I'll complain about it, but just on to the next thing. It's crazy.
Basically.
Yeah, I don't know. People who do that shit have no lives, and people who write fucking articles about spending time on shit they don't care about. Dude, get over yourself. I mean, it's not like they're gonna be doing anything about it. If you're a filmmaker and you don't like the way films are made, make your own films, and then eventually maybe you'll get to that spot. It's all about work. But anywho, yeah, it should be interesting to see what comes next. I don't know what the next DC. The next DC film is Aquaman.
That's the only film of 2018.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they called him some audibles right there during that time.
I mean, yeah, dude, they got a lot of time. There's no need to rush. Mm-hmm. There's no need to rush because you know what? After,
I just hope they put those fucking sideshow movies like the Gotham City Sirens on hold.
I was about to say that we don't need that.
We don't need all that.
We don't need a Joker and Harley Quinn film.
We getting all these, but we still haven't seen Green Lanterns yet,
dude. The only way I would want to see a Gotham Sirens film or a Joker Harley film is if it's a Batman film and those are the villains. It's the only way. We've never seen a Batman film with three female villains, or multiple female villains. Mm-hmm. It's one in the background, but as a matter of fact, The Dark Knight didn't really have. Talia Ghul really wasn't I'm not gonna call her a villain. She was just there.
No, she's not. She even carried. Bane carried the whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, and even Batman. Was it Batman and Robin?
Mm-hmm.
That was Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy was just there. So that would be pretty cool to have Batman go after a female villain. But like the point is, we don't need these. We don't even need a second Suicide Squad film. I mean,
we didn't even need the first one.
No, exactly. That could have came later on. I mean, if they executed it well, it could have been way better. And I did like that they opened up the universe a little more. But they.
I mean, I think the Suicide Squad came out at the wrong timing.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it could have been like the fourth movie. Like if it came out after Justice League, like 2 movies after Justice League, yeah, cool.
Yeah, they got their priorities all wrong.
Because the thing is, Guardians of the Galaxy was made because that was the only thing Marvel could make. That's the only thing they could make. I mean,
I'm surprised they hit gold with that.
Yeah, because I promise you, if the Marvel had rights, Disney had rights to X-Men, we would have never seen a Guardians movie. We would have probably never even seen an Ant-Man film. Actually, maybe not. I think Ant-Man.
I think Ant-Man would have been in there.
That's like it's pretty much a remake of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, just waiting to happen. So yeah, but
Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe we would not seen.
Yeah, we were probably got like maybe like little, was it credits or Easter eggs to them, but and at that point nobody would have cared. Nobody cared before the movie came out. Now people care because we're 2 movies in, and
Groot is awesome.
Yeah,
Baby
exactly. I want to see Big Groot though, man. Fuck this Baby Groot bullshit. But nah, Baby Groot is
That
cool.
was the second movie.
It wasn't bad. It
was just
No, it was good. It was an entertaining movie. I mean, it didn't really drive anything along as far as like the future of.
Okay, all right. It was just there. Their own little.
It's a standalone thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it did have. Did it have any? Oh, it did have some interesting end credit scenes. I think. Was it What's this guy's name? Fuck.
Star-Lord?
No, not Star-Lord. Chris, what was the you remember the Easter egg from Guardians of the Galaxy that they had at the end of the film?
Howard the Duck?
No, not Howard the Duck. It was another
that
one.
dog?
No. It was a big
Nova? They didn't mention a Nova Corps? They mentioned Nova Corps, but they didn't show no.
No, there wasn't a Nova. It was what the fuck is his name? Holy shit! Oh, I gotta look this up. But it wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't like
Oh wait, was there a reference to Captain Marvel to Marvel's race or some shit like that?
There was one of those, but it was a a really big character too. Shit. Anyways, we'll look this up after the show. But yeah, it was bad. It wasn't my favorite. It was entertaining though. I just didn't like what they did with this guy's father.
Oh yeah.
That was like. I mean, the story worked. They did well with what they did. I just didn't like the direction. I thought from the beginning that like Peter Quill's father should have never been, because he's damn near a Celestial. Because Ego is a Celestial, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was that. So I guess we'll be back.
Getting rid of Jason was the stupidest decision.
Yeah, I know. They could have kept him as. I think it would have been so cool to keep him as just like a regular alien. But human-ish, thing. You know what I mean? Like not a planet. But yeah. So I guess the next time we come back, talk about the Punisher. That's something we need to talk about. There's Punisher. There's a couple other things we didn't speak about.
We gotta rank our Ninja Turtles because of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, well, we got the end of the year is approaching, so we've got top 10s or top 5s, whatever, like our best of the year. I would probably I have like a best wrestling matches of the year, best movies, best video games.
You would have to run that. I would need to. Well,
yeah, we're not doing
all
that
our matches going to be from NJPW anyway.
Pretty much. I do have some surprises in there, but yeah, it's mostly New Japan, and that was hard. That was hard, just making a top 10. But yeah, so yeah, we'll do that like more towards the end of the year. But we got top movies. Top games. I mean, if you think of anything, yeah. But then we got Punisher to talk about, and I'm almost done with Horizon Zero Dawn. You haven't played that yet, right?
I've played it, but I really didn't. I'm still in the beginning of it because
life.
It's not the same no more. Like my high school days where you could just go home, do the one little homework, and just stay up all night.
I put in, I think I said 80 hours in that game.
I miss those days.
Thankfully, I'm able to do that. Like, I finally finished Shadow of Mordor. I started Shadow of War just to check it out, but I'm gonna wait till I finish Horizon, and then I'm thinking of I guess this is an announcement. We're making 2 more segments for the Successfully Failing TV. One is called Better Late Than Never, where we review things that we probably should have played or watched like a long time ago. So it could be like, it doesn't matter how long ago it was. Like I just finished Shadow of Mordor, something I should have finished years ago. Horizon came out earlier in the year. Saw some movies that I should have seen like a long time ago. So things like that. Because my thing is with reviewing, especially with games, I thought about doing like the right away review thing, but there's no fun in that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people could, alright, so a game like Horizon, I've been playing it for a better part of, like, the last week and a half, and I've put in 80 hours. Now, that game, I think if you just run through it, it should be, like, maybe a 40-hour game or something like that, 30-hour, 40-hour game, but, like, you don't get the best of the experience. Like, you get a good idea of it, but... Like, and it also becomes a lot more tedious. It's not fun. And I don't like that. Like, video games should be fun. So, I want to try to get reviews out, like, within a couple of months. But I'm not going to fucking bang out, like, a game of, like, Breath of the Wild in a week just to have a review for, like, 10 people to view it. So it's, like, whatever. But yeah, so the whole point of Better Late Than Never is to, like, touch on things that we didn't get to jump on the quote-unquote bandwagon that everybody else is on. Just to get views and shit. We're doing it because we genuinely like it, or we don't have the time or whatever it is, so we're finally getting around to doing the things we like. So it'll be movies, shows, games, whatever may. And then the other segment is pretty much it's just another addition to the Successfully Failing podcast. It's just a successfully podcast quickie. It's just like for example, like I know this was a long episode, but we might have something that like make one topic that might warrant like 5 minutes of conversation, or just like a solo thingy. So whatever, like you could even do that if you want. Record your own rant and just whatever. So yeah, it's just a shortened version of this. So, but anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do as far as video games. I like I said, I'm almost done with Horizon. I beat Shadow of Mordor. I started Shadow of War to check out how it is. But I'm thinking of not jumping into that right away and either tackling probably tackling The Last of Us, because I've never finished that game and I feel like I should. And being that I have the remastered edition with the DLC, I think I should jump in that. So I enjoy it at my pace. But anywho, next we'll be back sometime this weekend to talk to you guys about Punisher.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, last night the Knicks won.
Out.
Latest.